All Americans are vulnerable to hack attacks, including government workers, as we have seen this past year. But there's a new report that finds that children are actually 51 times more likely to be victims of identity theft than adults. Cybersecurity expert Morgan Wright, parenting coach, author of The Nanny Whisperer, and therapist Tammy Gold with me now. Morgan, I'd like to start with you because you have a very practical checklist that we can go through to make sure our kids don't expose some of their data unwittingly.
Right. I call it the 5 golden rules. There's probably more, but the first thing is make sure you're protected with an identity theft plan that has not just monitoring, but comprehensive restoration. If their identity is ever stolen, you want to make sure you can get it back to the way it was, on day one. Do simple stuff like, use security software, use strong passwords, make sure that you're not the bait for phishing and spear phishing attacks. Teach your children not to click on links. There's many things that they can do because a lot of this stems from social media. A lot of this stems from the familiarity with internet technology. So they're very more likely to share private information than most adults would be.
So bringing up that point, Tammy, how do you talk to kids about this without scaring them? Because as Morgan points out, Instagram, being on Facebook, being on Snapchat, this is just part of anybody's life who's 10 years old or even higher. How do you talk to kids without scaring them?
So, as you mentioned, this is a part of their daily life now, technology. You want to explain to them the concept. You want to explain it in a calm manner, but certainly older children, starting at 8, you can explain that we all have these certain things called social security numbers and what could happen to them if they get into the wrong hands. Usually children do better with rules if they understand why we have the rules. So explaining to them that someone could take this private number and then down the road it could affect you getting a job, that's a simple, not terrifying explanation to why they should follow this rule. And the more they know, they usually follow. And
Morgan, of course, with reasons to follow the rules, is that kids don't have any bad credit history because they have no credit history. So they are targeted in different ways.
Absolutely. No credit is better than bad credit. And the thing is, with children, they will go undetected for long amounts of time because parents are protecting their bank accounts, their credit information. A good friend of mine just went to enroll his son for college, did the federal student financial aid, found out his son had been trading stocks for 2 years under his name. So this is totally an undetected crime, and the credit bureaus have to do a better job of matching up children and social security numbers to accounts that are non-existent. That's a huge gap right now that these guys are exploiting with the data breaches and with these data brokers that they're mining information from.
Tammy, just as a security and kind of curiosity question, how many parents in your work as a therapist talk to you about the role of social media in their lives?
This particular piece about the identity theft and the pieces of involving, financial security, they're not really focused on that piece of the technology issues. They're focused on being inappropriate on Instagram or a predator finding them and kidnapping them. And they're less likely to, they first go to the most dangerous piece, and a lot of them forget about this financial piece. So it's really important to remind parents that there's this underlying harm that could be done, but it could be easily averted if you have the proper techniques in place to keep the children from putting in the passwords and the proper software to prevent them from getting out this information that they think is harmless, which down the road could actually be harmful to them. Because like you said, they're Snapchatting, they're Instagramming, they think it's going to their friends. The really young ones, they're innocent. They don't understand that someone may be out there trying to hurt them. So getting that information out will be helpful.
It's a good reminder. Tammy Gold, thank you so much. Author of The Nanny Whisperer, Morgan Wright, cybersecurity expert. Thank you both for your important contributions to that issue. When we come back,